Hello YouTube, it's Aaron and Mike here from Team Endgame here, bringing you a deck breakdown of my Majesty Lord Blaster Deck that I use for regionals. So we'll start with my grade 0 lineup straight away. We have Wingle Brave, obviously. 4 heals. Is that 8? Yeah, 8 crit, 4 draw. Can't count.
Why you run 12 crit, Aaron?
Why?
Yeah.
See, this is it. I know other people do run 12 crit, and it's a nice idea to run 12 crit. But my personal build of MLB literally requires and focuses on MLB, and that's pretty much it.
But then that means 12 crit would work, surely?
No, I need the 4 draws in there to help me sack into whatever I'm missing, either be MLB, Blaster Blade, or Blaster Dark. And Margle's effect is also a godsend most of the time if I'm on grade 2. Because I can push and force my opponent to either guard extra for Blaster Blade, boosted by Wingle Brave, or...
And late game push as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Now, I have seen other people do their own little builds, and they tend to use stands as well. I haven't actually personally used it, but I don't like the idea of stands. I understand that MLB has the continuous crit, so it's always pressure on there, and I can stand my rear guards. But due to my personal preference of grade 2s and 3s, I don't think it's worth restanding those units half the time. Moving on to grade 1s, we've got a standard 4 Perfect Guard and 4 Maron, your main booster, and obviously your Perfect Guard to stop the end or another MLB from hitting. 3 Toy Poogle and 3 Knight of Friendship K. Now the reason for the last two choices is if I can get Toy Poogle behind my Majesty Lord with the effect off, it hits 21, which is very nice against obviously the end, assuming the cross ride hasn't come off and any other 11k Vanguard. It keeps the pressure up and they have to guard a lot more. As for K, he's a good booster for starters, but it also allows me to... It's basically a substitute for a 10ks, which I don't run in my grade 2 lineup, because once my grade 2 or Interceptor's gone, or whatever is at the front, I can just push it forward, and it's a 10k swinger, so I can hit a rear guard nice, or 10k Vanguard easily as well. That is assuming, of course, I've got Majesty Lord as my Vanguard.
So why not run an extra K instead of a Maron, or an extra type Hoogle if your focus is to get that behind the Vanguard?
Because at the end of the day, their effects are... Sorry, their power is based upon an effect, or a requirement even. So if I haven't got 2 grade 3s, Toy Poogle's pretty much useless. If I haven't got Majesty Lord as my Vanguard, K is just a normal booster. I can't use it as a front row pusher. So I'd rather focus on the Maron, which is a constant 8, which can still hit 21s with my Palamedes, which I also run. As for alternatives, most of them I just don't see the point in using. The only one is probably Lien, which again would help me with consistency of getting my cards for the combo, but then it just becomes an issue of where to put it. Do I take out the Ks, but then I lose my rear guard presence because I can't push it forward? Toy Poogle, again I can't hit the 21s. I just find that there's no space for it personally. Moving on to grade 2s, we get to the interesting bit, I'd say.
It's quite a lot there, Aaron.
Well, we've got 4 Blaster Blade, 4 Blaster Dark, and 4 Star Called Trumpeter. So already, it's 12 grade 2s. It's quite a lot. Now I've taken out 1 grade 1 for a grade 2 and 1 grade 3 for a grade 2. Now you can probably see the idea behind 4 Blaster Blade, 4 Blaster Dark. I've got to find them. I need to get the effect off for Majesty Lord.
You need to write them as well.
Again, I need to ride them. So it's the idea of near enough, what is it, 2 out of 3 times, whatever my grade 2 is, it's going to be a blaster.
Yeah,
so I can push and try and get Wingle Brave off early.
You've got to maximise your chances, basically.
The only issue I do have is that if I tend to go second, I lose the advantage because they ride a 10k.
If they ride a 10k.
Most of the time they do. Most of the time. But that's why I like Margle, because I can put that in, it goes to 17, and I can push that extra 5 out of them if they choose to. So, why do I run 4, 4, and 4, especially for Starkle? Now, I hated the idea of using Starkle. So, why do I now run 4? Well, when thinking about how I would go against the end, how I go against another Majesty Lord deck, the thought of Starkle used to really annoy me because it was only 8. How can I hit 17? How can I hit 18? Well, you can't hit 18 with Starkle. no matter what it is, and you can only hit 17 with a toy Poogle behind it. But after playtesting so many times with different builds, I came to realise that Starcool's a really good card. For starters, I can easily search out a Blaster Blade or Blaster Dark. All I need is the 2 counter blast at grade 2 or 3, and I can search one. Bang, instant card. Bang, instant 5k shield. It's all about the shield in my eyes. Once I get the effect off once, that's all I need. I don't need to put them in the soul again to get the extra 10k unless I'm pushing for the final push to finish them off.
And also, they know what you're using Counterblast for. You're not going to use it for Blade,
That's
really.
basically it. I rarely use Blade. I know it's like I could retire something of theirs. Yay, whoop-de-doo, but most of the time I'd rather recruit myself something so I can get an attack and push the extra 5 shield out.
It thins the deck.
Yes, Mike, it does thin the deck. I was getting there. Shush. But, yeah, basically it's the fact that that's basically where my Counterblast goes. All the time it will go for Starcool. I try not to use Blaster Blade, but occasionally I have to. If I don't see a Starcool coming, it's just a nice way to get rid of a 5.
Why are there 2 of each Blaster Blade?
Because I've only got 2 from the structure deck and 2 from the pack. I haven't got 2. Shut up.
You could have just said personal preference. That would also be an acceptable answer.
As for different options, there's Gallatin for the... Where is it? Gallatin for the just a 10k, but it's the problem of I feel I need the 4 blasters and 4 darks, so I'd only really take out a trumpeter for it. But again, as I said, that is like one of my main cards. Every time, search out, grab one of them. Cool, search. Just generating 5k shield every time, generating an extra attack every time. So I find that that's out of the question. And Bedivere for the 12k swinger. Again, it's just a lack of space really because of the 4/4/4. It is nice to get the 12k though.
End of the day, what
I've got the replacement as Palamedes in grade 3, so I don't feel I need it.
Par-type Poogle, you're not really going to hit 21, are you? Either.
Yeah, I could hit 20 with Maron as well, but
20's not good enough.
20's not good enough most of the time. Grade 3 is, as you'd expect from what we're talking about before, 4 Majesty Lord Blaster, because it's your key card, and the rear guard's 3 Palamedes. You need the Palamedes because we found that you need the extra attack power to hit those high-powered Vanguards, like, if I can get his name out of my mouth, the end.
Yeah, just like I used Promise. It needs power on the side. You can't just focus the deck on the Vanguard presence.
It's not so much about the 21s, it's more so I can attack and hit 11/13 without any booster behind it. I don't need to commit too much. Alternatives, what I did use before was Alfred. Don't get me wrong, Alfred is a lovely backup Vanguard. I don't need to commit too much, get 16/20 on his own, no problem. It's a rear guard, I can still use effect, Counterblast 3, recruit same. Problem I find is that, for starters, Starcool is a lot cheaper in terms it's a 2 Counterblast. 3, he doesn't have any guard, so if I play him, I haven't got any way to free up the space unless I replace him with my own. And second, at the end of the day, what else am I going to recruit apart from a Blaster unit? I just find it's a lot more efficient to use Starcool for all the recruiting.
You run out of Counterblast. This is too heavy.
Plus, if I get a heal off, I can do 3 Starcool rather than, Alfred and still a Starcool, because it'll be 5 down to 4. So yeah, that's why I don't use Alfred. Now, another one people do tech is Garcelot. I can see why, but it's the fact that, in my eyes, I can ditch Garcelot, get a Blaster. So I'm swapping Garcelot for Blaster. So I've got rid of a grade 3 with no guard for a grade 2 with a guard that I'm probably going to put on the field and then switch out for the effect. Or even if it's late game, I can just place it there, I've got a 5k shield. Great. But whereas I see it with Starcool, play Starcool, still with that 5, get a Blaster, I just plus 5 shield and plus an attack, rather than just swapping straight out.
It's if you wanted to open up your grade 2 lineup more as well. Because it's basically a substitute for a grade 2.
What people tend to do is reduce the amount of Blaster Blades down. But again, another reason, just thinking about it now, if I run out of Blaster Blades, I've got no target for it. Whereas with Starcool, if I run out of Blaster Blades, well, just get a Dark then.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Well, you normally get dark anyway, because at least you can play Blade from your hand and get an effect.
Well, it depends. I generally call out the deck the one I've got the least of. If I'm looking for the effect, so I can try and find the other one. Because there'll be more in the deck, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, if I'm just looking to use a Catboss later, I can just call into a dark and maybe Blade later. But regardless, that's my Grade 3 lineup. And that is my Majesty Lord Blaster Deck breakdown. Thank you guys for watching. Please feel free to like, comment and subscribe below.
And feel free to recommend any further card fights, anything like that. Hopefully, I don't know when you're putting this up on our channel, but we get set 9 soon, which would be great. So hopefully some more alternatives will open up there.
Yep, so we'll get more matches and deck breakdowns for you for those, hopefully. Soon we'll get them all.
And we'll see you guys later.